How are everybody? Chris here from All Leeds TV with your Newcastle United preview for Leeds United's game on Friday. So tomorrow night, obviously early weekend kickoff. Please hit that like button, hit that subscribe button. We've had a lot of new followers recently, which is great. We want to keep growing as a channel. And obviously let me know your thoughts on tomorrow night's game in the comments below. And also your thoughts on what I'm going to cover first, which is the FA's ridiculous decision to not rescind Pascal's red card. So let's get straight into that before I get into the Newcastle game. And the first thing I'm going to say is it's a disgusting decision by the FA. And it leads us again to this age-old discussion of, are the so-called Super Six, Big Six clubs treated differently to the rest of the teams in the Premier League? Stuff like this leads you to say yes, doesn't it? Let's be honest. If that's Virgil van Dijk or a Ruben Diaz or a Harry Maguire making that challenge, and someone's player from Leeds, Everton, Burnley, any of those clubs, any other clubs outside the top six, are injured in the way Harvey Elliott was, yes, the decision on the pitch may have remained the same, and I'll get onto that decision in a minute, because that's what really stinks out of all this for me. The decision on the pitch may have stayed the same, but I have no doubt at all that red card would have been rescinded. Because let's be honest, the Premier League, the FA, they want those bigger name players on the pitch. So, for people watching on the TV around the world, globally, you know what I mean? A lot of global Liverpool fans want to see Virgil van Dijk. A lot of global Manchester United fans want to see Harry Maguire. A lot of global Man City fans want to see Ruben Diaz. And let's be honest, the Big Six, and again, I do use inverted commas because I don't get this Big Six thing. It's all financial. Let's be honest, they own the Premier League and the FA. And we saw that from the lack of fallout from the European Super League, where the sanctions that went around were laughable, really laughable. So 3-game bans upheld. So that means Newcastle on Friday, Fulham in the Cup, and West Ham at home. Pascal's going to be missing. But the bigger thing for me is the FA had a chance here to abolish any blame on Pascal for what is an horrific accident on a young footballer. It's just an accident. The tackle's good, everything else. And the FA had the chance here to say, actually, Pascal Stroke, you're not to blame for this. It's an accident. We all move on. Maybe knock it down to a yellow to be seen to be doing something, even though it wasn't a foul. But no, quite happy for Pascal, who's also a young kid still, to now have this sat on his shoulders. Props to Harvey Elliott, who's come out and said that it's a ridiculous decision and the red card shouldn't have stood. I think he's come out of this brilliantly, Harvey Elliott. I hope he gets better and fit really quickly. It's a dislocation, not a break, which he's had surgery on. So hopefully the fact it's a dislocation means he repairs quicker. But also the fact it's a dislocation and not a break adds weight to the argument that it's not the tackle itself, or not any impact as such from a bad tackle, studs up, shin high, all the rest of it, that have caused it. It's studs in the ground, and I think Pascal's leg trapping Elliott's. I haven't seen it back too many times. That's caused a dislocation where the ankle's just popped out. It happens. It happens. Unless you want to make football a completely non-contact sport, stuff like this will happen. But he's not gone in and snapped his shin in half, flying into a tackle. So yeah, it's just a ludicrous decision. And I think some Everton fans have been saying, because obviously Son's red card from a couple of seasons ago got rescinded on Gomez, when Son, by the way, didn't even get the ball. It wasn't a red card challenge. And it was right to be rescinded, but he didn't even get the ball. Pascal did. Coming in from the same angles, all the rest of it. And again, an unfortunate accident in what was an attempt to get the ball. I think very few players out there are going out there to hurt the opposition players. Do you know what I mean? So, appalling decision. And then like I said, Everton fans have come out because, and I think the other reason they've come out is watching the Everton Burnley game. I think Josh Brownhill makes exactly the same challenge on Richarlison, nothing. As Pascal's on Harvey Elliott, absolutely nothing. And then Tarkowski basically volleys Richarlison, tries to volley him out the ground. He goes into that challenge knowing full well he's going to leave something on him. You can just see by the way the challenge is made. And again, nothing. Fans will say he got the ball first. Pascal got the ball. So where's the consistency? Where is the consistency? Jordan Pickford last season snapped to Virgil van Dijk. Snapped him, put him out for the whole season. That's because he's a goalkeeper and goalkeepers are protected. I don't know. The arguments are there to be had. Do you know what I mean? I just think it's an appalling decision by the FA. And then Mr. Craig Pawson, the referee on the night. I was always going to give a red card, Pawson. No, you weren't. Because the time the challenge was made, the game went on. The game played on. You thought on first sight that was a good challenge, which it was. So then Mo Salah obviously spots that Harvey Elliott's in some distress, calls both teams, physios and medics on, and quite rightly, Harvey Elliott's seen to him. The game stopped. Then Jurgen Klopp comes wandering on the pitch. Now, I've not necessarily got a problem with Jurgen Klopp stepping outside the regulations to come on the pitch and to check on his young player, who's quite obviously got a bad injury. That doesn't rattle me. What rattles me is the standing whispering to Craig Pawson. Then all of a sudden, a red card comes out of his pocket. So I think, and again, this isn't just Leeds United related. I think a lot of fans out there from the lesser teams will say, "Where's the transparency? What was said? Why did Craig Pawson all of a sudden decide to give a red card?" Because he wasn't always going to give one. He's lying. And I think it's atrocious in the modern game that, fans are interviewed, fans are held to account for stuff they do wrong. Players are interviewed, players are held to account for stuff they've done wrong. Chairman, managers, go through clubs and every little bit of football. Yet referees who are paid, I think they're on something like a 40 grand a year retainer and then are paid over £1,000 match, don't have to answer to anybody. All right, they might have the cigar club in the FA or the Referees Association, but they don't have to come out after a game and answer for decisions made. We'll never know what was said between Jurgen Klopp and Craig Pawson. And I'm just speculating here because we don't know what was said. So he might have said nothing of note. But again, where's the transparency? Craig Pawson should be made to stand, in front of those Sky Sports cameras at the end of the game, or certainly 24 hours later, when they're doing ref watch on Sky Sports News and all the rest of it. What is your reasoning around this? Are you going to put in your match report that having seen the incident back, you now believe it's not a red card? Or do you stand by decision and what are the reasons for it? But there's nothing. There's nothing. So, yeah, we can carry on down that route of, the Football Association, the Premier League and the Football League when we're in there. They all hate Leeds United. That's fine, because that's exactly how it looks. We love to be hated as Leeds fans. Do you know what I mean? But when you've seen decisions against the club consistently stink, then I'm sorry. It just doesn't sit right. Do you know what I mean? I'm not one for conspiracy theories, but it just doesn't sit right. Anyway, that's nearly 10 minutes about me whinging about Craig Pawson and the FA. On to Newcastle. I'll make this very quick. Obviously, we're going to be light on centre-backs. No Pascal, doesn't look like Llorente will be fit, and obviously Robin Koch is out, so it's probably going to be, I would suggest, Cooper and Ayling at centre back. Personally, I'd be tempted to give Charlie Creswell a game, but I don't think Bielsa will go there. So I think it'll be Ayling and Cooper at centre back, I then expect Shax potentially to come in at right back, or maybe Stuart Dallas. But we'll discuss that when I get onto the midfield. And then Junior Firpo at left back. Calvin, obviously, CDM, who I thought had about the best game he could have against Liverpool, because he's doing everyone's job at the minute. It's watching him firsthand. He's just everywhere and trying to cover for those holes in our midfield. But again, we'll discuss those in a minute. In front of KP then. So you've either got Dallas or Shax at right back. That's a decision to be made. You know, you could justify either. My midfield is where I'm mixing it up slightly. And the reason I'm mixing it up slightly is I think we need to do something a little bit different. I think we need to go at a game a bit differently. And I think Newcastle potentially, and this isn't me saying it's going to be an easy game, because it's not. But Newcastle are a team we can potentially get at with that swashbuckling attacking style that we were renowned for last season. And we haven't really seen it this season yet. We haven't seen the Leeds United we know from the last 3 seasons yet this season. So here's my midfield in front of Calvin. Matej's Click, if he's fit, which hopefully he is, because I think it's abundantly obvious that there's something missing when he's not there. Jack Harrison on the left. And here's the change-up. For me, Dan James showed enough coming on in a difficult situation against Liverpool to start him. So Dan James on the right, and then Rafinha in at number 10. The reason I'd take Rafinha over Rodrigo, which is an experiment which I just think isn't going to work. I hope it does. But it just doesn't look like it's going to. Rodrigo's a striker for me. I think Rafinha presses better. He's obviously very subtle and silky on the ball and can unlock things. And then with Bamford ahead of him, which is as our starting forward, that front four of Raf, Harrison, Bamford and James, there's all kinds of options in that. They can transition, they can change positions. I just think there's something quite exciting about it, and I think we need to show something a little bit differently. I think then Click just sits just slightly in behind Rafinha and becomes sort of that bridge between Calvin and the centre-backs and Raf and the rest of the front four. And that potentially solidifies our centre midfield a little bit. That would mean, obviously, either dropping Dallas or putting him in at right back. So again, there's an argument there that Dallas goes to right back because Bielsa always finds a place for him in his team. And from what we've seen of Stuart Dallas the last couple of seasons, you can understand why. I don't think he's had the best start to this season, but you can say that for a lot of our players. But he's a cracking footballer. So I'm not saying drop him because he's rubbish, because that's not the case at all. I just think maybe we need to try something a little bit different. I mean, there's an argument Dallas could go in at left back and Firpo drops out. I don't know. Not for me, but I don't know. Let me know in the comments below what you guys think and how you'd start this game. So that there would be my starting 11. I would put Shackleton in at right back. I think his pre-season means he deserves a go. That would leave Dallas on the bench, which is fine because Stuart's a utility player, as we know. He can play anywhere. You put him in bleeding goal, he'd have a good game. So I think with how light we are at the minute in certain positions, I think Stuart's a good option off the bench. Just for this game, I'm not saying he should be dropped forever. I just want to see us, and this is me personally as a fan, I just want to see us try something a little bit different. I think maybe we've become a little bit too predictable. And we really need to get this season underway now, get a win under the belts and build a little bit of momentum. So that would be my starting 11. Let me know yours in the comments. I think those fans are expecting us just to go up to Newcastle and steamroller them. I don't think that's going to happen. It's going to be a tough game. I am predicting a win. I'm not going to predict a score because I'm already bored of going, yeah, we're going to do this, we're going to do that, and then it not happening. But I am predicting we go up there and get a result. Just looking at last season's results, looking at the two teams this season, I think we've got enough to go and beat Newcastle. It's not going to be easy. I think there's a lot going on at Newcastle. You know, Mike Ashley and poor ownership, the fans. I think there's a protest organised, excuse me, for Friday night. I think there's been something happened with the under-23s and they're all out at a party or something, or some of them were. I don't feel so. It feels like they're having a very Leeds United, old school Leeds United type moment up at Newcastle at the minute with ownership and everything else. And I just think the opportunity is there for us to go and get 3 points, putting 5 on the board and kicking the season off properly. But what I want to see a performance. I want to see the Leeds United we've grown used to over the last 3 and a bit years. I want to see that fight. I want to see that high energy, that high octane football that we're all so used to now. It just hasn't been there yet this season. Who knows? I think also at centre back, I don't know if I said it now because I've rambled a bit, but there's a shout for Charlie Creswell instead of Ayling. And let me know your thoughts on that below. I'm not going to cover it in detail now, but that kid can't be far away from getting a shot in the first team. He looks an outstanding footballer, you know, captain of the 23s who were going okay. Been around the club a long time. Maybe there's a shout for Creswell. Let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. But that's it from me. Let's hope for performance. Let's hope for 3 points. It's a Friday night game, so if it's a bad result, it ruins a whole weekend, which we never like. I think there is going to be a watch along on All Leeds TV, so make sure you look us up for that. Bit of banter, hopefully a positive result for us to sit and talk about, because the last couple of watch alongs I think have been quite hard work for the people on, but we do it anyway. You know, it's all part of the experience. And yeah, thank you for tuning in. Have a great finish to the week and bring on 3 points tomorrow night. Fingers crossed. Everything crossed. Everything crossed. Let's shuffle away from that relegation zone a little bit. Thank you for tuning in, everyone. And see you soon. Thanks very much, guys. Bye.